balloons, bazookas, boobies, bosoms, boulders, cans, hooters, knockers, melons, honkers, jugs, rack, tatas, tits, torpedoes, guns, bust, doorknobs, coconuts, and our favorite one, the girls. Welcome to the All About Breastfeeding show, where your host, Lori, highlights mothers just like yourself and goes beyond the surface questions and digs deep so they share not only their joys and happiness in their daily breastfeeding life, but also their pain and struggles and how they worked through them.
Episode number 89. Welcome to All About Breastfeeding, the place where the girls hang out. I am Lori Jill Eisenstadt, IBCLC. I'm so glad you could join us for another show. If you would like to connect with me, some of our guests, and with each other, just go to Facebook and search for All About Breastfeeding Community and join our group. You can meet other moms from literally all over the world, learn more about breastfeeding, and access some really cool handouts I have uploaded to the group file. This is your group, and you can be a part of the handouts I design. Go into the group and post what subjects that you would like for me to write about. You can also check out the handouts I've already posted and just tell me what you think about them. Is there anything I need to add to make it better? Something you think should be changed? I have often worked in a bit of a vacuum, meaning everything I've written so far gets a look-see from just a few people who give me feedback. Now I'm excited to have all of you All About Breastfeeding listeners take part in this. So join the Facebook group now, meet some moms online, and check out the files. I wanted to start off today's show with a very big, hearty congratulations to my good friend Vanessa, host of the Pregnancy Podcast, which is a fabulous podcast that you will want to subscribe to if you're pregnant or planning on becoming pregnant. She provides valuable information on all topics related to pregnancy, and she is very thorough. Vanessa has just released her first book called Your Birth Plan, a step-by-step guide to creating and writing your birth plan. Just search for it on Amazon. It is a wealth of information. This past week, the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, released the 2016 Breastfeeding Report Card. Looking through the statistics, I sighed, just like I do every year. There are people who do a happy dance and they get really excited with the numbers. Me, I always say that I'm greedy. I want more. I want better. I want what parents want. And what do parents want? Well, the statistics tell us that nationally, 81% of parents want to breastfeed their babies because they initiate breastfeeding. They start off breastfeeding. And you know what? These numbers are fabulous. 81% of mothers are starting off their postpartum life with their babies saying they want to breastfeed. But the report goes on to tell us that only 33% are exclusively breastfeeding at 3 months, and only 22% are exclusively breastfeeding at 6 months. The latest recommendations from all the top agencies suggest that if at all possible, babies be exclusively breastfed for 6 months, and we're only at 22%. Why are we doing a happy dance? So pardon me if I don't get as excited about these figures as others do. I just know we can do better. Call me crazy for not being as thrilled with the latest stats as some people are. We do continue to make improvements, and all that's great. However, they're like baby steps in my opinion. And I think the money and the expertise is there to be gaining momentum in leaps and bounds, not baby steps. With so much more awareness about breastfeeding, so many more IBCLCs in hospitals and private practices, some in WIC centers, clinics, physicians' offices, so many companies are doing so much better with having pumping rooms and catering to moms who are breastfeeding and pumping at work. The rates at 3 months and 6 months should be climbing. And yet, They're moving at what I feel is a snail's pace. As a nation, I believe we're failing breastfeeding mothers. The two big questions are, where are we failing? What can we do to really 10x these numbers? Give them a major boost. Help parents meet their goals. I know what we need to do. I don't believe it's too hard to accomplish or should take too much money. But it will take a shift in the mindset of our healthcare providers. Statistics have shown that one of the most important factors in mothers meeting their breastfeeding goals is their physicians. This includes their healthcare provider for prenatal care and their baby's pediatrician. Do you know that most physicians have only received 1 hour of information on breastfeeding? Most physicians I speak with will tell me honestly that there is not even practical information. Really what they're given is breast milk is best for babies, here are the benefits, and we want you all to support our breastfeeding mothers. Do you know why this is a big, big problem? Because most parents look to their healthcare providers for breastfeeding advice and help when they're having problems. Most parents are taking their babies in for a regular visit, a well baby visit, within 2 or 3 days of being born, whether they're discharged from the hospital, they've had a birth center birth, or they've had their baby at home. Within the first 2 to 3 to 4 days of life, they're bringing their babies into their healthcare provider. And if there are any issues that they know that they're having, or if their healthcare provider tells them that they're having some concerns about their breastfeeding because perhaps their baby isn't gaining enough weight, that's who they're going to advise. IBCLCs like myself have typically studied for years and put in hundreds and sometimes thousands of hours into learning about breastfeeding. We have worked closely with hundreds of mothers, helping them with latching their babies on, spending hundreds of hours demonstrating technique, explaining and teaching mothers. Many of us have read at least 10 different medical textbooks on issues related to lactation, and many of us have read a whole bunch more, attended many conferences for 2 or 3 or 4 days that focus solely on lactation and the breastfeeding family. And yet, mothers are not seeing us on a regular basis for help with breastfeeding that first day or 2 or 3 or 4. If I sound a bit like a breastfeeding care provider snob, you might say that I am. Don't you think it makes sense that myself and my peers should be providing lactation care to mothers from prenatally on? We have thousands of hours of experience to offer mothers versus an hour or so from many of their care providers. Now, we don't live in an always and never world. I know and I understand that. Nothing is black and white. So I know that there are going to be some physicians and midwives and naturopaths and pediatricians who say that they know quite a bit about lactation. And this is totally true. They've elected to seek out training in lactation. However, this number is really very, very small. So what can we do? Well, I believe all mothers who are planning on breastfeeding should have access to excellent breastfeeding classes, meet with an IBCLC prenatally to discuss their health history as it pertains to lactation. It is at this juncture that we are beginning to make important connections. Moms meet with IBCLCs and they get to know them, to like them, to trust them. They have an awareness of any possible risk factors for lactation difficulties before she gives birth. Once mom gives birth, all mothers who are breastfeeding, it would be great if they could spend the first full day with someone who will help guide them with proper position and latch techniques. Whether it is observing the breast crawl and ensuring your baby has a good latch, or helping them with different holds, such as cross cradle or football hold, showing them how to support and shape their breast tissue, helping to assist them if they've had a cesarean section, and reviewing what they've already learned in breastfeeding class, but now they have their baby with them, and it would be great to go over normal newborn breastfeeding behavior. Basically, what I'm advocating for is that no mom is left to fend for herself that very first day. And I see this a lot. Whether she gives birth in the hospital or in a birth center or at home, no mother should spend the first 24 hours with a baby that is not latching on correctly or having less feeds than are normal and spending that time by themselves without excellent lactation help. Once everyone's assured that baby is breastfeeding well, mom should be followed up with at least 3 times the first week with lactation support, with one of those times being checked by the baby's doctor. Her baby will have a weight check during that time to ensure the weight loss is within normal range, and output and breastfeeding will be assessed. Just like mothers choose a pediatrician or is assigned one from her insurance company, wouldn't it be great if she was able to choose or be assigned an IBCLC for at least the first 2 weeks of her baby's life? I am convinced that if we were able to follow each mom and baby pair closely for the first 2 weeks, the breastfeeding continuation rates would soar. If a mom is followed from the first day on, it is likely that any breastfeeding issues that cause pain or low supply or poor baby weight gain will be caught and rectified quickly, rather than go on for days and days, which results sometimes in, oops, too much of a weight loss for the baby, far too much breast and nipple pain for the mom to bear. We can prevent these things from even happening. And when breastfeeding is going well for a mom from the beginning, we can give her a high five in the checkup and say, so glad things are going well for you. You just had a great checkup. Yay. We know that the biggest reasons mom discontinue breastfeeding are for several reasons. One is because breastfeeding has become too painful to continue, or her baby is not latching on well and spending time at the breast but not getting good milk transfer. So when that happens, their babies lose too much weight, and then they are encouraged to supplement with formula. Some mothers struggle with supply. There's a small but significant number of mothers who have various health issues that do make it difficult for them to make enough milk for their baby. However, a majority of the time, what really happens is what I call breastfeeding mismanagement. Moms just are not followed closely. They're not helped with proper position and latch. They don't know what a good latch looks like, what it feels like. They don't know that it's not supposed to hurt. They don't understand what babies are really supposed to be doing at the breast. I see lots of moms who have babies just kind of hanging out at the breast, doing mostly sleeping, a little nibbling, not much milk transfer. I make no judgment about any moms that discontinue under these stressful circumstances. The system is failing you. When mothers struggle, then their partners and family members also struggle. When they are at their wits' end and they are watching a loved one suffer, your family is likely to think that they're helping you by offering to take the baby, watch the baby at night, let you sleep, feed your baby, and maybe even suggesting that you switch to formula. I know that the federal government has the money to make this happen, what I'd like to see happen. Perhaps if we can convince them to earmark at least half of the money that is used to purchase formula to follow breastfeeding mothers closely the first 2 weeks, well, that would give us, let's see, about $1 billion to work with. The first 2 weeks are the hardest for breastfeeding moms, and I am convinced this is where we can make the biggest difference. I would love to hear your opinions on this subject. We can have a healthy dialogue going on in the Facebook group. If you want to be a part of the conversation, come on and join us in All About Breastfeeding Community Facebook page. I know I sound like a broken record by telling you to put the word community in your search, but you just won't get to us unless you do that. I will also be providing a link for you so that you can see the Breastfeeding Report Card 2016 and, just take a look at those numbers yourself. I checked in year 2007, 73% of mothers started off breastfeeding. And now nationally, we're at 81, which is great. In 2007, 30% of mothers were exclusively breastfeeding. And now, in 2016, 33% are. That's what I'm saying, only 3% more. We could do better than that. And in 2007, 11%, only 11% of mothers were exclusively breastfeeding at 6 months. And now we've doubled that, it's 22%. So yes, we're making strides, but like I said, I think it's in just little baby steps. It's at a snail's pace, and I think that we could be gaining a lot more momentum and doing a lot better than we already are. Next week, I will get deeper into the top 5 reasons moms stop breastfeeding. I'm going to go deeper into what I refer to as breastfeeding management. Go over a few case histories of moms that I've recently worked with so you can have a deeper understanding of how this happens and learn how to prevent it yourself. I will, as always, make sure I change the names and ages and location and family members to protect the mother's anonymity. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. Until next week, bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out with me for another great show here at All About Breastfeeding. If you would like to learn more about me, please check out allaboutbreastfeeding.biz/about. Until the next show, bye-bye.